Alright, give you guys a quick update on MC transmission. Recently I got a transmission error on the MC when I had bought it. It was working fine, and then check engine light came on. It's hard to shift and all type of problems. Basically, it's 4 sensors you have to replace. They're all inside of the side casing of the transmission, which requires that you disassemble the driver's side front wheel. That includes lower control arm, steering knuckle, remove the steering knuckle, and basically drop down the engine cradle. Or you can just pay somebody, I think the repair is about $3 to $4, or anywhere between $400 to $500. Basically, it's 2 sensors in there, and then you have another sensor that's a pair. I replaced this on my home because I didn't feel like, paying for it for one, and number two, I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to see what it was like. Anyway, this is my rebuild project. It's a 2001 Monte Carlo SS. I bought it at 131,000 miles. Right now we're at 139, I believe. I think it's 139. Okay, these 4 sensors. Right here, you have the transmission, oil pressure, solenoid switch, whatever you want to call it. These 2 are shift solenoid, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. And this is the little guy that gives you the check engine light. This is the torque converter clutch solenoid. When I opened this, the inside of it was broken all up, so I'm assuming that's why I was getting stuck on and off, which wasn't allowing fluid to come through. But this is the guy that gives you the problem. But when you service this, everywhere that I've looked up says you have to service these 2 guys and this guy also, just as a precaution since you're opening that side anyways. This has a little, I don't know if you can see it, sun out. It has a little net around it, around the filter. These tend to go bad on the car, along with the transmission clutch, transmission torque converter clutch solenoid, which is the TCC. Each of these were not that hard to take out. You just unclip them, unplug them, replace them, put the side cover back on with a new gasket, or a side cover gasket, and top off fluid. But since I was servicing the whole transmission anyway, I did a complete drop pan. I dropped the pan, changed the filter, changed 100% of the, well, I say probably 95% of the fluid, and replace these 4 sensors. Again, this is shift solenoid 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This is the oil pressure solenoid, and this right here is the TCC torque converter clutch solenoid. This is what goes bad in the car or in transmission, which causes it to jerk. For some reason, this goes bad in all the 46T5E GM transmission. This one right here, this little guy. And it's a pain in the ass to fucking change because the bottom screws of the side casing are kind of hex/star keys, so they're a pain in the butt. But this is the update. It's been about 3 or 4 months now, I think, and the transmission is still running strong. I'm pulling 22-inch staggered. They're like, I'll say, anywhere between 45 to 55 pounds each tire. plus the weight that I got inside the car, which is two, you know, music, batteries, and from time to time, 2 to 3 people. So that's basically it. This is the update on that. Like I said, you got to take off the side casing of the transmission, replace these 4 sensors. These 4 sensors total up to about $147. I'm just guessing. I don't remember how much I paid for these. I think it was $28 each. This one was about $47 each. Well, yeah, this one was $47. And then this right here was also I think it was $36. So I estimate around $120 to $150 for these 4 sensors, but they're very important, very, very important. But once you replace these sensors, and you know, you put new fresh fluid in the transmission, along with the new filter and oil pan and transmission pan gasket, as well as side casing gasket, you should be good to go. I have the box right here. I kept these for a while now, so I'm gonna just end up throwing them away because I don't need them as a reference anymore. You know, but I bought Delphi for the pressure switch and VWD for the shift solenoid, as well as the pressure control. I mean, as well as the TCC. So that's basically it. It's been a while now. Been probably 3 months since I've done the transmission on the NC, and I kept this in a corner just in case anything went wrong or whatever. So I feel like my 90-day testing is up. So I'll just fill out the report and let you guys know how it was, how it's running. Most people don't know what to do, but it's real simple, you know. To me, it's kind of hard if you don't have the tools, but it's real simple. Basically, this is the driver's side. You'll have to take the wheel off, the steering knuckle, the brake components, the lower control arm, and you'll have to take off this splash guard right here on the side. Splash guard on the side. Once you take the splash guard off, all you got to do is loosen the four bolts that holds the engine cradle, which is that big square aluminum piece. Now on the passenger side, you loosen them to a certain amount. On the driver's side, you take them off completely, which then you support the engine as you take the 2 bolts off. As that goes, you then lower the cradle to the ground as you raise the car and the motor itself, if they're not already up in the air to a certain height. Then you have the transmission side casing, which is about, I think it was 17 screws. The last 4 screws at the bottom are star screws, which requires a special tool because they're torqued on. So what you would do is get a chisel and break all 4 screws, break them until to loosen them, and then take them off. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get a different set of screws matching those screws. You know, get a regular hex bolt top head or anything that can fit in the socket other than the start key, because that's not going to help you. And while you chisel them off, you damage them anyway, so they're no more good. So, or just get the screws closest to those as possible, and that should help you out a whole lot. That's basically it. You take off the side casing, remove all the screws, take off the CV joint also. The CV joint got to come out. Side casing slides off. Don't forget the engine mount, the transmission mount also has to come off. And as you pry everything apart, open, you can slide the transmission, tilt it to the side, you know, to get the transmission. With that being said, the two dog bone mounts at the top of the engine also has to come off. Those are very important. Those have to be, taken apart. The two dog bone mounts. The dog bone mounts at the top, up front, got to be taken off. For people that don't know what the dog bone mounts are, it's this one and this one. You take these two off, and you can see the side casing is right here. It's on the right-hand side. And between it, you can see a shiny piece of metal. That's the new gasket I had put on about 3 or 4 months ago. I'm guessing. I don't remember when I did it, but that's basically all you got to go through. Now, when you're dropping the engine down or tilting it to the side, you might want to loosen the master cylinder and move it out of the way so that the EGR valve or anything else like that don't rip it down. Or take the EGR valve out, whichever is easier. Disassemble the neck for the air filter. Anything that can get smushed or smashed or bent, just move them out of the way of this area right here, because you'll be leaning this a little bit further down than the rest of the car. So that's basically it. Shift solenoid 1 to 2, shift solenoid 2 to 3, the transmission oil pressure switch, and the torque converter clutch solenoid. Those 4 are inside the side casing, as well as some other components such as the transmission temperature sensor, the speed sensor, the input speed sensor, and again the CV joint has to be removed also, and that should be it. That's just an update on the transmission service that I did on the NC. As you can see, it was red and black. Now it's black and blue. Still got the same vertical doors, and I'm just keep on updating the car as I add more stuff to it and take more stuff out.